Another update, hell of a thing. So friends are now revealing some chilling details of a pastor's wife who committed, according to the allegation. Now, that dynamic is not 100% certain according to the family, all right? With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. Now I'm going to go to the pastor and this strange sermonette after his sermon, and then I will give you the update. Here it is.
We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next little bit. Because I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away, and it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're gonna have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can. I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And she wasn't. Y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come. But just keep our family in your prayers. And
Yeah, you're right about that, preacher. There are more details to come. Put up the picture full mass. Now, I'm saying this just personally. There's no adrenaline in the world that would allow me to preach at a church the morning after my wife dies. I don't give a damn how much I love the church. Y'all gonna have to call an assistant pastor, somebody. So he gives this strange sermonette after the sermon. The directions are seemingly awkward as well. And the family, well, they're concerned that it's not what it seems. So Mica Miller was found deceased in North Carolina last month. The medical examiner investigating the death of the pastor's wife believes it was in fact a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Her friends tell a story that may prove otherwise. So they recount a conversation they had with her days before her death. And when I say days, I mean like 2 days, all right? It's days. Mica was found dead in North Carolina State Park with a bullet wound, and her estranged husband, John Paul Miller, claims that she unalived herself. The unidentified friends, a husband and a wife couple, told People that they support the idea that something doesn't add up. The couple says her marriage to John Paul was not healthy, echoing what officials said this week, that the couple was estranged and actually separated. John Paul was reportedly the pastor of a church in Myrtle Beach. Video shows him telling his congregation about Mica's death a day later, noting that it was self-induced. Quote, "I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now, so y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody," he said, then going on to claim his wife had mental health issues. But the friends who spoke with people, painted a very different picture. Quote, "She went back to him because of the church," the wife says. "She called John Paul, quote, the worst narcissist, and accused him of having a, quote, very twisted mind," end quote. Quote, "She was scared," the husband said. Quote, "You could tell she was just scared about everything. She looked us in the eye and said, 'I'm scared. I want to live.'" Now, those words are driving him crazy, it said. You have to understand the context. If you have a friend that says to you, "I'm scared. I want to live, but I'm afraid of this man. I'm afraid, I'm scared." 2 days later, that person is deceased, okay? The person that she's afraid of is a televangelist who still goes on TV and preaches the next day. Obviously, those words are going to hunt you, all right? They're going to stay inside of your soul. So Mica's family claims in court that she was also abused by Miller. Mica's family claimed in court docs that she was abused by the pastor and that she had also warned close ones that if a bullet was found in her head, it was the doing of him. This is pretty specific stuff. A Myrtle Beach police report obtained by News 13 also accuses Miller of, quote, grooming Mica for years. There's more. She made the claim in a February 21st complaint surrounding a vehicle her husband had allegedly stolen from her. Mica died 2 days after serving Miller divorce papers. When I tell you this is a mountain of what we call circumstantial evidence. And yes, people can get indicted on circumstantial evidence, and hell, some people have been convicted on it. Mm-hmm. But typically when a person has resources and crafty attorneys, circumstantial evidence may not be enough to land a conviction in a court. And so DA, unfortunately, instead of calculating justice, will always calculate win-loss scenarios, right? Which isn't something they're supposed to do. But by culture, they do. And I'm not saying he did it. It damn sure looks strange. And I absolutely would have questions if I were a friend of Mica as well, just like the current friends do. But they are very clear that what she was experiencing was attributed to his behavior. Now that's on record after record after record, including official police documents. All right, just a hell of a story, a lot of twists and turns still developing. Thoughts here?
Yeah, this is just the beginning of this case. I mean, and I think that yes, the evidence is circumstantial, but there is a lot of evidence for the prosecution to show that she feared for her life, right? I mean, there is much more digging to do here. Look, I'm someone who doesn't love organized religion, and I know obviously not all pastors, but being a pastor and a leader of a church gives you an immense amount of power. And we've seen the way that gets abused. Obviously, look no further than the Catholic Church. And especially when you are seen as a voice of God or the way that people connect to God, you can use that however you want. I mean, if there's reports of him grooming his then future wife and then being abusive, I mean, just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, the thing that is chilling is that he does go, as you mentioned, in front of his congregation. And the reason for that is to shore up support, is to basically get people to rally around him preemptively. At least that's what it looks like to me, which makes me suspicious. It's less suspicious to take a day, to take a week, to take some time. Your wife just killed herself ostensibly, right? But no, instead, he's trying to get out ahead of it a little bit. At least that's what it looks like. But again, I'm not saying he did it, but it looks pretty fishy and it's very scary. And these are the kinds of, again, the fact that they're a pastor and the fact that there's like documentation of her being scared shows that this is a pretty good case. But in terms of domestic violence, femicide, as it's often called, between intimate partners and spouses, man, wives are murdered so often. And none of it actually gets solved or resolved. And so I'm glad that there's a little bit of light on this case.
We will bring updates. Obviously, the family and the friends are saying the exact same thing. I don't believe this is going to be the end of it. Just as you said, this is probably the tip of the iceberg.